First of all, we need to understand what do we mean by sin. Normally, I prefer not to use words and terms that have been used in other religions, because in every religious context it has a particular meaning, and very often it's not precisely the same when we see from the Buddhist perspective. So I prefer to use a different term. Okay? What does exist in Buddhism is the concept that the actions that we do, they are not in vain. They bring results. So whenever we act out of anger, jealousy, envy, violence, and so on, these actions, they will bring results which often manifest as suffering. So all the actions that manifests later as a form of suffering are called negative actions. Would we call it sin? I don't know. Normally we don't use this term, at least I don't use this term. The fact is that yes, there are actions which do bring negative results. A very important part of it, although, is that to recognize one's own negative actions is not a matter of feeling guilt. It should not be accompanied with a feeling of guilt and punishment, not at all. Instead, why do I make actions that actually generate suffering? Because I am guided by my own ignorance and by my own selfishness and so on. And so what I need to do is to have a basis of love. And I need to embrace myself, first of all, and say, yes, I have compassion of myself. I act in a way which has not been of benefit, because out of my own ignorance. So the process of recognizing one's own negative actions is instead that of embracing oneself and redirecting to what is the best way of acting. So I understand that this way of interaction and action is not beneficial, so I must act differently. This is the concept that is behind. So is there sin or not in Buddhism? It depends basically of what we mean by sin. For no doubt, there are actions that do bring result, of which we don't need to feel guilt and we don't need to be punished. But basically we need to acknowledge our own non-virtuous actions and redirect our actions in the present and future.